All right. Do. And these Twitch ads are nuts. Okay. Oh. All right, we're all set. Boom, boom. We can delete this. Log server. Bum, bum. Excuse me. Okay. Set up asset server. This is only used by that. Which means we can put it here. Bum, bum. Who uses this? Only that. Well, hold on. I think it was used for somewhere else too. Server. Oh, and the editor as well. That's fine though, because I can call that elsewhere. Boom, 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 boom. That goes away. All right, let's see who uses these. This is only used by game server. This is only used by game server, and so is this. Which technically means all of this stuff can just get pulled. Let me just build to make sure that things are building, and then we will look at that. Dun, 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 dun. I think this is used pretty broadly, but we might be able to move this over as well. This is all in. Yeah, this needs to be there, but this part I think I can move. Or I might move it to a different package, I'm not sure yet. This might do better in the DB package, to be honest, I'm not sure. Or no, this probably should go in the no, because it's a server only database, okay. We'll unravel it. Oh. Looks like it's gonna build though. That's this function. Let's see what it does. It just loads this database, it looks like. This does the same thing, but for monsters. That's for the hot reloader, pretty much. We have the quest version. Oh, this just builds out a lot of the questing data. I'm torn if I want to put these here. I mean, I think I'm just going to put them in here for now. And if I want to move them eventually, I'll move them. But I think I only use them in one spot. They're only in functions to make it more simplified. All right. Cool. So we fix that one. My goal is to get all of the main application stuff into its own package and then leave the like common systems and component stuff in this package. So that's our objective for today. There's a little bit of moving stuff around, but I think it'll improve the builds a lot. Cool. Load monster database. I'm trying to think of what I need from here. I guess it makes sense for the application to load the assets and then inject those as like kind of common dependencies. Let me just see if I need anything. What could I possibly need though? I'm pretty sure I can just rip all of this over. Except for reload mob handle system, maybe depends on... That's for the database though, right? Yeah, it depends on this. Okay, let me think. We're just gonna make a file called loader.go in the game server. I'm gonna pull out all of this stuff. I don't think I'm gonna move everything except for, well, the system needs to remain. And we'll just reference the server dot monster DB generation. This global config.test I might remove though. Let me see if I can. That's gonna be in loader, the server. No. It's gonna be in server.go. Oh, but we set that. I'm pretty sure this test is the same as this test. I should make sure of that. Yeah, set up asset server, config.test, yeah. Okay, cool. So I'm just gonna pass test in here, bool. And then down here, when I call, what is it, load monster database, I'll pass this test through there. That should solve that. The only weird one is this one, but that's kind of, I have an idea of how this needs to solve. It's a little bit harder, so I'm not gonna worry about it right now. Weird it's not, oh, this got moved, so that's there now. All right, let's try this. Really want to look at the quest generator now and see if we can do the same thing for this. Like this is just kind of generating a global piece of data. Main quest generator.list. Main quest generator.add. Yeah, like this is kind of another database. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm pretty sure I can just pull this up. But let's wait for the build to finish. That was weird. Boom, 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 boom. So we set the global config. All right, let's see how that build works. We set the global config, that's fine. We set start the server, that's fine too. That's all we do. We start the API server. This I might move to a separate service though. I think that makes sense. The problem I think is this depends on that, yeah. But I guess that's okay. Maybe I should just move this over. Game server. Let me just see here if it's missing anything. Yeah, I think I can move this over. Okay. We have this to move and we have There's like the game server's API, which isn't publicly available, but it's internally in the internal, or it's internally available through like the private network. Spheres. What is this? I'm confused on how this is. Oh, because this doesn't know about this type. That's such a weird error. Really, these types need to remain. Or technically, only this one needs to. Because we get sphere status, so we need to have this set here. Cool. And then the other one we're doing is quest generator. Let's do that. We'll put that in the other loader for the game server. Okay. Perfect. I'm just gonna push this up here. I don't really love this. I might put this into some server DB package though. I have like a DB package for common databases, like for item DB and stuff like that. So I might make a server DB package for server specific pieces of data that I don't want to send to the client in the binary, but I need to have on the server. Okay, let's do a build here. Unfortunately, the make all takes a long time because it runs all the unit tests and stuff like that. So. Where's API? What is this? Oh, that's just general API stuff. This is what I wanted to delete. Okay. Game we want to leave here. The system stuff we want to move somewhere else. Dungeon and Dungeon Manager, I'm not sure about yet though. Bum, bum, bum. Redis would be nice to move out, but we can only move it once we... Well, hold on. We'd have to move all of the components over because game needs to depend on the Redis stuff. Let's look at Dungeon Manager. This one just tracks all of the different like worlds that are running. Dungeon status. This depends on dungeon. The problem is dungeon depends on like all of server. Might even depend on game. Yeah, do I even use that though? Looks like I don't use this. I'm gonna comment it out. I'm not in dungeon anymore. Okay, we set it here, and then dungeon, set world ID. Okay. We'll need world for this, really. Game remove user. So it does, I guess it does need game for that, doesn't it? I feel like I have muddled two things together. One of them's like helper functions that need to be easily callable across the game. And then some are like orchestration type things, like removing users and stuff. Like if I move dungeon to game server, I wonder how much of an impact that would be. Dungeon could depend on server, but I think that there's some places where I've got like a cyclical, like this relationship makes sense, but I'm pretty sure Gamedev also depends on dungeon manager or something. Or let's go to game. Is this build done? Server.server status. I guess we need to move that back. I'll just put this here for now. Do. I want to get a game for the server. Yeah, I know it. Yeah, here it is. Dungeon manager. I might have to make this an interface. I don't think I use it for all that much. If they enter tutorial, I need to spawn a tutorial. But this could easily be an interface. That way it'll uncouple the coupling. And this is that. Announce all is something that can be an interface. Sending a leaderboard event. Like these are just things where like an individual game world needs to like submit some thing to the main orchestrator. Like if you need to spawn a dungeon or do something like that. Yeah, this can definitely be. What's up, Doria? No way. Yeah, way. A little early today, huh? Not even 9 yet. How you doing? All right, dungeon manager dot spawn dungeon, then add. But I think I need dungeon as well. I think I passed dungeon around also. was expecting 10. Yeah, I usually start at 10, but I figured I was gonna be working anyways, so I may as well. I was feeling ready. You just had coffee? Gosh. I just had coffee too, but I think my time's a lot earlier than yours. Dungeon manager.get. This gets me user ID string to entity ID. What do I need game for? I could make this an interface and put it on dungeon. What's in the to-do today? I'm just going to be refactoring mostly today. My goal is to split up the server package into server application and orchestration stuff. Then have like the main game, which is like for gameplay type functions and queries and stuff like that. And then move the systems out of that. So the systems will depend on game. The orchestration stuff will depend on the server package and the systems package, and it'll be what combines it all together. Because right now, like, so I have my server, but then I have like assets, which depends on the server package. But the server package has just a ton of stuff in it. So I'm trying to like split it up to be a little bit more, like just to be more organized, I guess. But I think what I have here is going to be a commit, and then I'm going to move dungeon and dungeon manager over to the game server. Are all those compiled binaries? No, they're not compiled binaries. It's going to be just packages, and then the top one is going to be called game server. It's going to be the binary for the server. But like assets is another compiled binary. But right now it's depending on like the entire game server with like all the networking, all of the gameplay, all of the asset stuff. So it's just a lot. So which causes the asset build time to be really long. So I'm like slowly trying to like piece it apart. Move the. So I made a new like package folder called service, and I'm gonna put game server in there. So then we'll move dungeon and dungeon manager over. We'll have to build an interface though for like individual games or like worlds or dungeons to call up to like spawn other dungeons and do other things. But that way it'll be just a one-way dependency. I don't know though if I want to put this in game server or if I want to put it into a separate package. Game server.start. Server package seems good the default. Yeah. Let me just walk through this first though. Because I also have this server. It's like server.server, which is the main like networking endpoint, which depends on Dungeon Manager. So I think this might also need to move over. Because I'm pretty sure this is only used. Like this has all of the main functions too. I also pass this stuff around a lot. Like I'd rather have one thing, but it's hard because I have different tiers of things, right? It's like you have your server, which has your dungeon manager, which has dungeons. Let's see how often server gets used. Whole network, that makes sense. Leaderboard tracker. Dungeon seal conditions. Let's look through these functions. Okay, so we make it. The problem is to some degree, this is just a like component which holds a bunch of stuff. But then it also does a lot of active things as well. Get sphere status, player count stuff. This is mostly just managing connections. This is the main bulk of the work though. It listens for proxy connections and then, yeah, creates a new connection for those. Dun, 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 dun. Move user to dungeon. Did I learn about embedded structs? I feel like I always regret doing embedded structs in Golang. I almost always wish I didn't do an embedded struct. It's a cool idea, it's just like, I don't know. It just always messes with me. Get all the proxy, get an individual proxy, add a proxy or remove a proxy. Yeah, I think the only thing that's kind of... Does server have... It has access to Dungeon Manager, yeah? Does it use it though? Mom, I want inheritance. We have inheritance at home. It is weird, yeah. It's, I just don't know. Like, it's not super convenient. It's not so convenient to where, like, it saves me a ton of typing when you do inheritance or when you do the embedded structs. But and then it's also like extra confusing. So it's like, it just like saves a little bit of typing and then it's way more confusing to me. And then you're like, why does this struct have this function? Or like, why am I able to pass this through? I wouldn't expect that. And it works because like you embedded some other struct in it, you know? Embedded interfaces is pretty nice though. I will say that. Like you can make like a read-writer interface by embedding a reader interface and a writer interface into the same interface, which is pretty convenient. So you can kind of like compose your behaviors together into larger ones that have more support, or like a write closer or a read closer or something. That stuff's pretty handy, I feel like. I have structs having embedded SQL dbtx, enabled to use them with an interface that has an intersection of dbtx methods. Oh, interesting. What's up, Sanjay? How's it going? Yeah, I mean, I use it in some places. Like, if you have some like super simple, common, like for example, I have this is the one place where I think I used it well. Is like I have these behaviors that I want to compose, and I need to have some like basic functions. Like there's just some basic functions I want them to have. Every single behavior needs to have. Like which bucket it's in or which sequence it is. And so I just embed those types, and then I just have these functions for free basically. Then I just have to throw these inside of the behavior at the top, and I don't have to like copy paste the function every single time. This was a good use case, but a lot of times I'll use it and I'll be like, oh, like a vec2 is kind of like a position or something like that, and then I feel like that stuff messes me up a lot. But I can't say I wasn't burned by it. Yeah, it just messes me up a few cases. It's not terrible though. You just have to be selective about when you're gonna do it. Okay, so what I can do is I can move server. I think I can move server, dungeon, and dungeon manager over, and then I have to build an interface for when like a specific game world needs to call up to the orchestrator to like spawn a new dungeon or move the player to a new area or something like that. I'm trying to think if there's any holes in this idea though. Let me make another cup of coffee and I'll be right back. Are you wet? Luna. Cutest cat in the world. Aren't you? She's just randomly wet sometimes. I don't know, it's the weirdest thing. I think she was getting water or something. Yeah, I don't know SQL packages, unfortunately. I'm a Redis guy. Or the toilet, I hope not. No, I close my toilets. I've learned that lesson. I close my toilets completely. Trunks will jump in it for some reason. He's a weirdo. Do I need server con? I'm trying to think of what else would need server con. Not Valky. Yeah, there's a lot of drama after I started using Redis. Is it called Valky? Valky? Ah. Maybe I should switch. Isn't it Microsoft or something like that? Oh, it's an AWS thing? Or they're all using Valky now because they can't use Redis, I guess. It replaces Redis in the Arch repo extra now. Oh, interesting. Well, I'm still on Redis, unfortunately, so I don't know. It's not AWS open source. Yeah. It is funny how that's kind of that sort of stuff happens a lot now, where someone makes an open source project and then AWS sells it as a service, and then the person gets mad or the group gets mad, and then they change the license, and then AWS forks it and then has their own version. That happened to Elasticache or Elasticsearch or whatever, and now I guess Redis too. I don't know what is Redis's business model. Like, what do they sell stuff? Redis as a service, Redis Cloud. Okay. Redis for AI, kill me. 30 megabytes. I guess it's free, so I can't complain that much, but. $0.07 an hour. Oh, it's $5 monthly. That's not bad for 1 to 100 gigabytes. That's kind of a confusing range. Oh, it's flex. So 1 gigabyte is $5 a month. It's just very overpriced. I don't know. All cloud hosting stuff is. I think what people really need is they just need an easy way to like deploy this stuff. Kubernetes is just too complicated. Docker Swarm's not good enough. Thank you, Din Lewin, for the follow. Appreciate it, man. Welcome. Coolify, yeah, but Coolify doesn't work on, at least as far as I know, Coolify doesn't work for, multiple hosts. Maybe it does. I don't know. There's so many things like this. Oh, that's kind of cool. This stuff's just, yeah, there's just so many little things that are like kind of annoying to do, but aren't like super hard, where it's nice to have a single thing that does it all for you. All right, let's just start moving. I think I'm on a fresh Git tree here. So let's just start moving stuff over. Service game server. Oops. Dungeon manager.go. It's weird I can't call spawn dungeon on itself. Let's flip through this. I think I'm gonna move server over that. Let's go ahead and move them all, and then we'll figure out all the bugs. Dungeon.go. These are components though. Those are constants. I'm gonna leave those. Dungeon user. Who uses this? Or do I have functions that return this? Yeah, get user does. So I'll leave dungeon user, I guess. And then we have server. Or no, it's not server, it's con. Proxy ID, I'll leave. This is just to receive connections. And then I want to, I'm gonna put it in con.go. Thank you, Hakuna Matata. Interesting name. Okay. Server con. I feel like I have to move this as well. I'm trying to think though. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna make them all interfaces. Like they're just functions. They're just functions where the game needs to like call up to the orchestrator. So I think I just have to do it through an interface. Yeah, we'll do that. Okay. I might call this, I might rename this one to server.go. Package game server. It's weird that it's didn't remove this. Whatever. I prefer that. Okay. So this is where we need the interface in all of this stuff. I'm not sure exactly how to... Let me get my copy really quick. I'll be right back. All right. I want to have a very minimal exposure to this sort of thing, though, I think. What happened? We're gonna have the game server. Who's gonna be able to spawn like individual server, like it's hard because a server is such an overloaded term. I don't really know what to call this stuff. This would be like one instance, I guess, of like a dungeon or like the overworld. But these need a way to call, because this kind of orchestrates stuff. These need a way to call up to like move user or do like orchestration type tasks. So I need to pass an interface into this so that this can call back to it to do certain things. Otherwise you end up with a cyclical dependency. And then I need game systems. My systems I want to put in a separate package, which are going to depend on server. And they're going to depend on this. So this is kind of a fake link. And then you have components, which I call scomp, server comp. And server depends on those. And I think this is what my layout's going to be. Obviously this one's like an interface based thing, so it's not really there. Still have a drip coffee maker? No, I use an AeroPress. I've used an AeroPress for like a long time though. I did have a drip coffee maker as well, just in case I had like people over and I needed to make a bunch of coffee, but I threw it out. I have a, what's it called now? A French press for that now. Yeah, we're living large over here. Living large. The problem is I have so many concepts. I have like a dungeon, I have a dungeon manager, and I have a like the game server, and I kind of want to unify those into one or two contexts, I think. Because like with the dungeon manager and world ID, I can get the dungeon. Or I put dungeon in its own package. If I put dungeon like here, then game server and server could both depend on it. Dungeon would have to depend on systems. I don't know, we'll see. I'm not gonna do that for now, but I will see how it goes. Looks like the previous Java soldering really made you some bucks, holy. Hey, if you're willing to put up with Java, there's a lot of money to be made. Though now that AI is big, it's gonna be like all that boilerplate. It's just gonna be written for you. So they're gonna expect a lot more, I'm sure. They're gonna expect you to actually solve problems, instead of just doing 10 levels deep of nested inheritance. All right, let's see where this is used. Actually, I'm more interested in seeing where server gets used as well. I want to go to sys on this server. Move user to dungeon. Let's make a list. Server, this is just for leaderboard, the leaderboard tracker. CL conditions server. not used. Why is the, oh, this couldn't find it, that's why. And then send update server. This is for the con. I bet you just need to get the connection. Oh, server.get proxy. Oh, because you need to get the proxy to know who. You have a user who's connected to a proxy. You need to look up the proxy to see which like endpoint you would send it to for them. That's all I'll use it for, I guess. I guess I use the dungeon manager here. I feel like this makes sense though. I know there's going to be some hiccup where I'm not going to have thought something through. But I really do think the best course of action is, like, here's how I'm thinking about it. I have a dungeon manager who's going to spawn a bunch of dungeons. And each of those has their own like game that needs to run. And that's pretty much what's inside of server. And they also need to decide which systems need to run. And the systems will depend on game. But then if you need the game to do something like remove a user or something like that, the game needs a way to call back upwards. So that's why you'd pass in Dungeon Manager. But then for networking, you just need to look up the proxy that they're on. I think I'm just gonna make like some interface called like I might just do this, like break it there, have an interface that passes downward called like the, I wanna call it like orchestration or something. And then this would get passed into all of these so that they can call back up if they need to. Server orc, I don't know. Maybe I'll just call it, maybe I'll call it a game server interface, because that kind of fits what I'm calling this concept. This stuff's all in the game server package. So I'll do a server.game server. I like that, okay. Okay. I think I'm happy with that then. Obviously there's gonna be a few cases we haven't looked into yet, but let's get started on moving it at least. It is a lot of imports, isn't it? How do you spell orchestration? Orchestration. I guess I do know how to spell it. The problem is there's just so many like subtypes. It's really not super obvious to me how, like what the best way is to organize stuff. Because if you organize stuff by like type, you end up with 1 billion imports. Like by what sort of thing it is, like something that involves a store or like stats or like a skill would go into their own package. You can do it that way, or you can do like one big package like com or something like that. And they both have their trade-offs. So Yeah, this is a fairly large package. Sorry, this is a fairly large data type file. I'm gonna call it server orchestration. We can always rename it. I kind of want RDB to go into there as well. Orca, server Orca. I love it. I'm gonna leave RDB out of it right now, and eventually I probably will put it in. Because I do think that the game, when they need to delete a user or like write them to the database, it needs some way to access the database. But I think that this is the proper way for it to go through, or like this is what it should be going through. But inside of this class, it's kind of like I need to pull all of the stuff out of the game for the user, and then bundle it up, and then write it. So, okay, that'll be good. It's hard because I'm going to rename this eventually. But for now, I'm going to leave a dungeon channel dungeon manager just because I can do an LSP rename when I'm done. Okay. All right, bundle. Why does this need access to the dungeon? Let's see. It really just needs the world ID, I think. It needs the world ID, it needs the config. I think it needs the config because it needs to know which sprite to use. To like, it's like you find an entrance to Succubus Layer or something, it needs to draw the right portal. Why would I pass the whole dungeon though? I think sometimes I try to make things as dynamic as possible. But I don't think I'm ever gonna have a dungeon change its config after it's spawned. But yeah, I think I'd rather this component not depend on the dungeon, because this is like the thing that manages users inside of a dungeon. So that was just like a leaky abstraction, I think. Like activate user, has user joined, spawn points. What does this need game for? Oh, this is for initialization stuff. That's fine. We'll eventually clean all that up. This is gonna be a big change. But I think I want to do this. Or actually, I know I want to do this. This has been a long time coming. I also like, right when I do a patch release, it's nice to do a refactor and then have like 2 weeks of testing that refactor before the next launch. While I build other features on top of it. Those are probably the only refactor I do for this next patch. Okay. So what do we need from dungeon? We need world ID. And then we need level config. Is a strict deadline kind of thing. I just like doing, like I have a patch release, right? And then like, then I do a 2-week patch cycle. And then I have my next release. So like making big refactor changes in this area just feels unsafe. It feels a lot safer to do them like right here. Like yesterday we did a patch release. So then if I do changes here, then I have this whole like 1.5 weeks where I'm adding new features and I'm able to test the refactor along the way. Like, I guess what I'm trying to say is I like to front load the things I'm more worried about, the changes I'm more worried about. I don't know if that makes sense. Okay, we need all of these dungeon entrance bundles. We need to go to level, or sorry, it's level config. Wait, I'm confused now of why I need this, because I set the body here, don't I? Let me just look really quickly at what, oh, I need level config, I think, because, yeah, so this tells me when someone interacts with it, I know which world I need to put them in, and then this one tells me any modifiers and what like difficult or what type it is. So I can put the name above it and stuff like that. This one I could kind of embed, but the problem is I need to network this one so I can show the dungeon mods. Okay, that's fine. Then we have level config, which is level dot. All right. That's basically the replace we have to do. And then we can take this one. All right. Yeah, sphere status. This is yeah, where is this? Oh, I think I moved this to server. Hold on, where's the error? Because I use it for that as well. Okay. What's up, Francisco? How's it going? I want to move sphere status back here, I think. Or sorry, it's in server, I think. Eventually I might move these components to a more like front-facing API type package, but are you using Evidention? I am not, no. I'm using, I wrote a custom like rendering library called Glitch. It's on my GitHub if you want to look at it, but it's not really like for other people. It's just what I use. But it works. Right now it just does OpenGL and WebGL. So it's for browsers and whatever it's called, browsers and desktop. Yeah, it worked out pretty well. I'm pretty happy with it. It was maybe a waste of time, just because I think what I needed was forgot desktop. Yeah, like I didn't. It was fun to learn, but I kind of wish I just used a package, someone else's, you know. But it was fun to make, so I guess I can't complain too much. You guys a little cat cam there. All right, let's see this one. Dungeon spawner. This one I'm not actually sure. This is a case I wasn't really planning for. Let's see how we use this pending. Oh, because this spawns a dungeon. Yeah, this is where we'd have to pass the orchestrator in here so that it can spawn a dungeon. And then it just needs a channel to send it back on, I think. Like, yeah, we spawn the dungeon in a function, and then eventually it finishes and we pass it back here. The question is why? Why do I need that dungeon? Ever called to the WASM stuff? No. Originally I was using Pixel, which didn't have WebAssembly support. So I knew I had to switch to something else, or I needed to add WebAssembly support to Pixel. And initially I started trying to add WebAssembly support to Pixel, and I ended up giving up and just writing my own. But recently someone made a package that's like Raylib, but it's Raylib, but they build like the WebAssembly binary separate, and then they link to it somehow. I don't know exactly how it works, but I think that's really interesting. But at this point, I'm not in like really the mood to rewrite my renderer, unless I get really desperate. Well, yeah, what's on the other side of this spawner thing? Oh, it's all internal. Oh, it's just to know when it's finished. Oh, but I need to return the dungeon. I'm sure it's some Seago magic. Well, it's not Seago. It's because it's all WebAssembly. You can't build WebAssembly with Seago. Oh, sorry. What I meant to say, like Raylib, you can use with Seago, but you can't use Raylib. You can't do Go to Raylib through Seago and then compile to WebAssembly. So what they do, I think, is they compile Raylib, C version of Raylib, to a WebAssembly binary, and they somehow make function calls to that through like JavaScript or something. Which is a pretty cool strategy. Okay. Yeah, why do I need to return the dungeon? Let's look for that. Dungeon. I'll spawn a new one. Dungeon nil. Yeah, returns nil if it hasn't finished. Dungeon spawner system. Dungeon.return link. That's fine. Entrance position. Yeah, and this spawns a dungeon entrance. Let's go look at dungeon. I'm curious what start does. Oops, dungeon.go. Start. This just kicks off the like scheduler for it. I'm surprised I don't just call this when I return it, because I could call this when I return and then do all of this stuff upstream. And then all this system would be responsible for is calling to the orchestrator and saying like, hey, I want to spawn a new dungeon. Yeah, I think that works. All right. This would have to be a channel of something else though. I might need to make a separate dungeon interface for making these sorts of calls. This is supposed to be interface as well. I eventually want this to be called dungeon, but I already used that, and until I refactored this away, I need to, then I'll rename it at the end. Kind of like I'm doing with the dungeon manager stuff. Cat just pounced. Okay, then in the orchestrator, we need to have a spawn dungeon function. It's weird. Okay, I guess here it is. Ah, it's so like if this returns this interface, I actually don't know how I'm gonna solve this. If this returns this interface, then this can't implement it because it's gonna return something else. Like this has to return this type. Oh wait, can't this just return that type though? Yeah, because this depends on, okay, yeah, I can just do that. This will just return this, I guess, which is a little bit weird, but I have to return an interface to implement this interface. Okay. Yeah, here we don't have access to server. Handle enter dungeon. Yeah, I just call move user to dungeon. So we'll do this, move user to dungeon, and then on server, we need this to implement that interface. I guess it doesn't return anything. Okay. I'm gonna add that warning to this. Okie doke. Or hold on, we fixed that, right? Orca. Yeah, and then when we call this, we need to not pass the server, we pass Orca. And then we, at the top of this, we want to pass in Orca or server. And then here, where's this? Yeah, okay. And I'll player export. I mean, technically this is in game, isn't it? Yeah. We'll just do game dot. Hold on. Oh, it's game. There we go. Okay. Or hold on. I wanted to go back to this. I just want to see who calls this. I just want to pass in game. Cool. What's up, Nigel? How's it going? We shouldn't need this anymore. And we shouldn't need, well, we're getting rid of that one, I guess. Okay. We're slowly getting there. All right, dungeon manager. dm.get. Luna in the window. Yeah. Till Trunks goes and attacks her. My cat's trying to lay on my keyboard. Yeah, you gotta get a split keyboard so I can lay in between it. non-mute players in dungeon. Let's just look for all the places this is used. Dungeon.game, mob factory, which we can get from game 2. This will have to come from, I don't know yet, but it'll come from something. Dungeon chunk loader, that came from game. Return link. We'll unwind it. We do need to pass the game instead. We got that one. I guess I could do that instead. Do server dungeon. I mean, I could do like a get config or something, I guess. That seems like pretty reasonable. Yeah, so this one, let's see what it uses server for. Server.dungeon manager. These are all mod commands. Is it just those two? Yeah, then this will become Orca. Yeah. I'm just gonna do this, announce restart. Let's go ahead and put these into game. Those definitely fit into that pattern. Okay. Server send update system. Thank you, Emix, for the follow. Appreciate it, man. Welcome. Let's look at server first. Server.getProxy. Yeah, that would definitely fit to the Orca. Let me look at this. Oh wait, I can't look it up. It just takes proxy ID though, so it's not that hard, I guess. Game here. Server dot, or no, we're in server, so we just do proxy ID. And then this needs to return let's just go look. I can't remember the exact type. I think it returns a server con, like a connection object, but it might be wrapped in something. I don't remember. Yeah, this is the function. Oops. Oh, It's awkward though because server con is held in here. But it might make sense to make an interface for that as well. I'll think about it. What's up, Buffer? How's it going? Let's go ahead and do this. Or this would need to take a... All right, we'll do that. Now we need to do this stop and remove. This basically stops the dungeon and then removes it. So we need to add this function to our server orchestrator. Game. There we go. I just don't know all the things that this would imply. I can't imagine it's that much though. What's your take on test-driven development? Depends on what you're making, I think. If you're making something that lends itself well to writing tests, like if you're writing a bunch of math functions or something like that, then I think TDD can work really well. Because like, let's say you're trying to implement a like vector multiply or something like that. You can write a bunch of tests, implement your function, and then you're like pretty sure that it's going to work, you know? And also it's something that the repercussions of having a bug is very high. So like by messing up your vector multiply in like this really foundational library, you can mess up a lot of stuff above it. So I think it's useful for things like that. Otherwise, I don't really use it that much for service level things, just because it forces you to have really strict requirements, which doesn't fit games especially, but I don't think it fits super well with general software development either. I just don't think it's super productive for like high level systems, I guess. I don't think testing's bad. I just think it's like too much sometimes, you know? And in games especially, you change stuff around a lot. Like you'll implement something and be like, oh, this doesn't feel right, so I need to change it now. So if I did that through testing, it's like I wrote a bunch of tests to implement this feature, and then I need to change it because it doesn't feel right, you know? So I think in certain fields it works really well. Or if you have really tight specifications, like you're doing some kind of like some software where they know exactly what they need, then I 100% would do it. So I'd say it's use case dependent. Dungeon dot, get all users, remove user. I think you're testing implementation detail, not behavior. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I agree with that, but I guess I'm not sure. Are you? I think you're testing implementation detail, not behavior. Like if the behavior I want is for like a weapon to shoot projectiles like something, and I write all these tests to implement the testing of that behavior, then and I feel like that projectile shooting didn't feel good, then I need to go re-implement all those tests now. But for the like vector multiply thing, I think I'm definitely testing behavior, not implementation detail. I think that's where it fits best. All right. Oops. That's weird, it got cleared. Actually, we're there. I think this returns a... All right, we need to remove user as well. My keyboard bugs out sometimes. It's like just started happening. Okay. I need an ingress channel. Is that all I use it for? Game, Dungeon Manager, that's the orchestrator. Yeah, I think that is all I use it for. I still need a way to get it though, don't I? I'm gonna go ahead and do this. I'll go ahead and just put that in the interface. It's either that or I pass it in by making the game. I kind of prefer to pass it in, I think. Or hold on. Or no, I don't want to go to game. I want to go to dungeon.go in game server. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, this will be Orca. Sealed. All right, cool. That will work. Dungeon manager, dungeon spawner system. I don't think I just did this one. This one will be a little bit complicated. Server dot, move user to dungeon. This is Orca now. I don't want server, because server is now wrapped into server orchestrator. Or really? Like that. That seems good. Okay, this one now takes Orca. Does it take Dungeon as well? Oh, interesting. This is a similar sort of pattern to the one that I said was going to be kind of tricky. Because I spawn the dungeon through the orchestrator, and then I add the dungeon through the orchestrator, and then I start it. I don't know if I want to have all three of these. Like, I'm trying to think of the case where I want to... Why would I ever want to do them at different times rather than just do it all at once? I might make a function that's just like spawn and start or something like that, that does all of this. I'm not sure though. Dungeon entrance population. This will become from the Orca. Server Orca. We need to add this get function now. Let's go ahead and just do that really quick. I'm just gonna delete this. Get. Yeah, this is gonna get a dungeon though. So that'll break the interface. We'll have to revise this, but I'm just gonna do it for now. I'll do this. Oh, then dungeon.num users. I wonder if the best call is just to make this a function, a part of the orchestrator. I actually don't even remember what this returns. Unsafe cast, but I'm kind of assuming more than... This must return an int then. Let's just double check. Num users, yeah, it turns an int. This updates the stability. I wonder if this sort of thing is better. I'm trying to think of why it needs to be in there. This one makes sense. Yeah. I'll have to figure out. I'll have to figure out how to do this one. Because I think all I need is the world ID. I don't think I need to store the actual dungeon object. Because I'm basically saying, like, I want to move this user to this world. And I'm just getting the world ID from the dungeon. And this one just needs the config. I really need like a get config function or something. Well, that was weird. Yeah, I'll do get config. Oops. Get config dot type. I'm just gonna go ahead and look it up once. That needs to be done. This one we need to work through still. Dungeon seal conditions. Okay. This we could make a, like I'm pretty sure, I have Orca here. So we'll just make a function, spawn tutorial entrance, instance. And then we'll go to dungeon manager. Cool. Yeah, I think what I'm going to start changing these to do though, instead of returning like the dungeon object, I'm just going to return the world ID. And then with the world ID, I can basically look up this sort of stuff, the server dungeon. And I think that that'll clean up a lot of stuff. This one will do. Hold on. Yeah, What do I need this for? I'm actually not sure. Oh, this is for calculating who gets drops. It's probably better to do like num users and then pass in this, because I think there was another case in which I could do that as well. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go to the bathroom and also make some oatmeal. All right. Let's go ahead and make a function like this for the orchestrator. The problem is I need to know the world ID. I don't know if the game has that though. It does. Okay, good. So I can do this. I can do like Orca. I like that. Oops, wrong game. All right, cool. But at least the function's there from the interface perspective. All right. Death announce all. Oh, we just need to add this function. Death announcement is just a string. I guess this is mine. I'm not sure what I do differently from announce all, death announce. Oh, it just doesn't have announcement attached to it. Okay. I could probably combine those to some degree. But it's nice to have everything in one interface, so I can see everything that the game needs access to. And then I can probably combine some of these. Okay, leaderboard. Ooh, it's kind of hot. Okay. What arguments in call to dungeon return? Oh, I need to pass world ID? I need to pass level config in. This one's a little bit more confusing. Because dungeon comes from something. Add start. Yeah. It's for check sealed conditions. I guess I'm kind of torn if I want to do if I can get the world ID, I might just go ahead and update the orchestrator or the orchestrator interface to have a function that's like get return link or something. It's either that or I call get, and then I call get return link on that. Pointer, or I think this is a pointer because it's optional. So I'll just do this, get return link. This needs a world ID. Do I need this? I don't need this. I need the world ID and I need the level config. World ID we have here. I guess I just need to get the level config. One thing I don't like is I know there's going to be a lot of churn on mutexes after this, because each of these will have to lock. But so I kind of wonder if I want to just return it here. I can't craft the hammer to edit my house. You don't have to have a hammer anymore. You can just, there's a button at the top of your window. That's like a red or green edit home or something like that button. There's an ad. Yeah, there's a button at the top of your HUD when you're in your housing area that lets you enable or disable editing your house. Then you can just right click. I think this is right. Yeah, no more deconstruction hammer. Not part of that. This probably belongs more in do. This should probably go in the orchestrator, this code. Get the dungeon and then get the user for that. Get, I guess I need world ID. Hold on a second. All right. Yeah, so I need the world ID that the user's in, and then I need the user ID. It might be this user def. I'm not sure though. Dungeon.go. Get this. All right. It's just dungeon user. Okay. And then here we can do cool. I mean, this will be an easy one to write. To do. We'll write to do. Okay. Let's look at this one. Oh, it's the dungeon spawner system. We don't do that yet. I want to do these two together. But I also want to see if there's any more that are like that. This decides whether or not to seal the dungeon. We really just need to write a seal function, don't we? Mm-hmm. Let's just do this. We'll do a level config is, oops. Get config on game.worldID. What do I get? Oh, dungeon gets passed in. So then here we'll do game.dungeon. I'm gonna do orca. Seal. Okay, cool. We need to pass the game in. Oops. All right, we'll get the level config from that. Game.chunkloader.level. All right, then we have the dungeon.sealed load. That's interesting. Is that what the sealed function does? It's in dungeon.go. Seal? Seal. Hold on. Dungeon manager. Seal. Hmm. Oh, this kind of breaks a lot of stuff, doesn't it? Let's do this. Let's get a game for server. I either push this into the server Orca. Hmm. I guess it makes sense to have this, just because otherwise I have to look it up a bunch. So we'll go ahead and just do that. Dungeon.stop. Moderator command. This will be, hold on. All right, what do I need server for? Nothing. Okay. We have all the spawner stuff, and then we have, oh, this type is wrong, but this is also another spawner thing. Let me scrape the bottom of this thing. Hold on. Right. Let's just flip through these. I think that one we haven't really decided what we're gonna do with the con object. Okay, leaderboard tracker. We can actually probably do this one. I'm just gonna make a function that's like send leaderboard event. This will need to take, or eventually this will be orca dot. Is that in here? Leaderboard.entry. That's all it'll have to do. It's just gonna push it onto a channel. Okay, now let's look through these. Oh, we have this one we talked about. This one is basically spawn a dungeon, add the dungeon to the dungeon manager, and then start it. And that's all back to back. And then I need the sub dungeon entrance. Really, I don't need the sub dungeon though. I just need the level config, which I have here, and I need the world ID, which I could only, which would be on the sub dungeon, I guess, wouldn't it? Okay, well, we have a good idea about that one though. Then we have the dungeon spawner system. And this one we spawn it. What's the difference between these two? This one calls spawner spawn dungeon async. Spawn dungeon. But it spawns it. I guess that's why they're separated, because I have a different spawning logic. Like this one probably only wants to respawn it if it's not there. We need a way to do all of this logic, I guess. Okay, that's fine though. And then this one just needs to take world ID and level config instead. And then we have here where we have this type that cannot be, where this I think could just be a world ID though, but it does the same thing. It spawns a dungeon, adds it to the dungeon manager, and then starts it. Let's go ahead and do I'm gonna make a new function that's like spawn and start. I'm gonna have it just return base.world ID. Yeah, then we can do sub dungeon world ID, and then we can do level config. And then we don't actually need to get back the server dungeon, which is kind of nice. Most interface of all time. Yeah, I mean, I think it just makes sense. Like there's just some things that the game has to do to the orchestrator. I just don't see a way around sort of doing something like this. But it is nice that it's all kind of parameterized. One thing I did do a good job about was keying everything off of something. Which you kind of have to do, I guess. Maybe I shouldn't praise myself too much, but it's like it's nice to just be able to like pass in a integer and be able to do anything that I want to do on it, you know? So it's structured well. It was just, everything was very like, the word I want to say is conglomerated, but I don't know if that makes sense. Everything was very like intertwined. There's a lot of Medium articles about that kind of interface repository. Yeah, I don't think interfaces are bad. They're just kind of, they're slow in really core inner loops. which is annoying, but Go is pretty good about devirtualizing them. Okay, now we have this spawn and start dungeon. I guess we should write this. This needs to be implemented. I'm gonna go ahead and do this, and then we'll go here. Can this ever return nil? No. What's up, Determined Dev? How's it going? Okay. Now I just want to do the two remaining things where we do d.add dung and then d.start. It's funny though, because this returns a this. I guess we'll make a start function. Hold on, let me see where this gets used. Spawn dungeon. This is one where I spawn it, but no, I do start it. I do add it and I do start it. So I can do spawn and start here. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just spawn dungeon for interface. I'm just gonna use this one to implement the interface, but this one's gonna be the more internal one. I think eventually I'm gonna be able to remove that and replace it with something like this, but it's just kind of annoying to, yeah, I just wanna call spawn dungeon and then I wanna do, how does it not have a start? I'm so confused by that. I think it's just my linter. Yeah, I think my linter is just not caught up. Yeah, seriously. The problem is my build times are so bad that the LSP kind of lags a ton. I'm hoping once I get this stuff reorganized, it's like 110K lines of code or so. So it's relatively large. I'm having some growing pains, I guess. Spawn dungeon async. What function is this? Orca, that takes that. The funny thing is I still... Why do I need this? Why can't I just start it here? I'm so confused. All right, I need to think this through. When my rewrite everything stream, there was a point where I did rewrite everything, but that point was a while ago, so. Okay. We call spawn dungeon async. Who calls this? Is it just the one? Yeah, okay, it's just the one place. And it's just for the dungeon spawner. So I basically build a dungeon that isn't started yet, and I send it back. I send it back on the channel. So this is like creating it, and then while it's loading, because it has to generate everything, this thing's waiting, and every single time it gets checked, it potentially returns the dungeon back. And then eventually, we read it and we return that back. And then we get it here. And then this is not nil for 1 frame while it's been spawned. And then we add it. I guess I'm just confused on why I can't just start it in here. So far in features, the game in the state you want it to be in? Not really. I mean, there's still a lot I have to do. I really need to do... There's 3 more biomes I have to redo. Oasis Sands, Misty Peak, and the tier 5 biomes need to all be redone. There's that. There's a little bit of like tune-up stuff that needs to happen. And then I need to add like more like island event type things. And then I think it'll be ready to go. Dun, 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 dun. Hopefully. But the problem is you add 1 feature and then you have like 2 more that you need to add. You start to realize. What is this delay for? Yeah, I think I can just do spawn and start. I don't know why I did it this way though. Yeah, I still have stuff on the plate for sure. I'm gonna ignore this for now. I'm just gonna go to the next section. Oh, this is still the same one. Okay, we can do this one, I think. Yeah, this is going to be game.dungeon manager. Or I'll do this, hold on. Oh, Orca's already here. That's fine, I'll delete it. Okay. So we'll do this dot spawn and start dungeon. And that should do all of those. The only downside here, yeah, okay, look, I have a to-do I can get rid of. Technically, you can just store the world ID. Look at that. Wait, why doesn't this let me point? Oh, it's a pointer. Whatever. I guess I'll just do this. I really should just change it. It shouldn't be a pointer. I'll do atomic dot like uint64 or something. What's a world ID? uint16. And then later on, we need to actually look for this. So yeah, we'll load that. No, I think I do know. I think I do want to make it a pointer. Because I need a unset case as well. Like I need the case, I need there to be a case for it to not be set. Cool, that does that. And then we want to set the stability every so often. I wonder if stability should be something that's inside of the game. Mythfall's fun, I just tried it. Oh, thank you, man. Appreciate it. I'm glad it worked well. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Always a pleasure to hear when people enjoy it. I want to go to dungeon.go. Here. Yeah, I think this should probably be inside of game. Definitely gonna be playing against. Oh, cool. Hey, you're more than welcome to. I do patches at maybe once every 2 weeks or so. I just did one yesterday. Or what is it today? Yeah, I think it was yesterday. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it was yesterday. It was yesterday. Oops. See, the problem is now I need to have this. I guess I'll just add it to this thing, whatever. The problem is I can't see who uses this. I'll just make a function that's like set stability. And that's in sphere. I think eventually I'm gonna be able to clean that up too, but. Let's go look back at this one, I guess. I really don't see a reason why this can't be started immediately. Because I spawn a dungeon. And then it's just going to be started when it comes back. Rather than reading it and then starting it. Like there's not really anything that's... Yeah, let's just do that. So then this won't happen anymore. Also, we're sticking now to we're just gonna be passing around the key to the world ID key, and if we do need to look up the actual dungeon, we can do that later. Oops. Okay. So we spawn a dungeon, we return the world ID. It is kind of annoying, but we'll do a pointer, I guess. We'll return nil everywhere except for this. Okay. That way we can make an optional. It is weird though that I'm starting it before I'm setting the return link. Entrance pause, dungeon room. Correct positioner. I'm so confused by this. Why would I be picking a random spot? Oh, because this isn't... This is for spawning the entrance. Okay, I think I kind of see what I'm trying to do here. I want the return link to go back to where the entrance is. I want the return link to go back to where the entrance is, but I don't know where the entrance is going to be because it could be random. It's going to be randomly picked. I'm also going to have to know the world ID and the level config. I don't even know if this logic is going to work though. Dungeon return link. Yeah, it's weird that I'm like, yeah, I don't like this. I don't like how I wrote this. Because it's like I'm setting it after I spawn it. Like I'm passing it in nil here. I'd almost rather have a, Like I can calculate the position beforehand. Dun, 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 dun. It's just weird to roll this every single time. Is Go similar to Python? Not really. Python's dynamically typed, Go's statically typed. And Go's more like C. Go's more like a simpler version of C. But they're both garbage collected, I guess, so there are some similarities for sure. I don't know how I want to do this. It's silly because I don't think I even need, like I think I only use this dungeon spawner for the sphere that spawns in town. Yeah, I mean, one option is I roll this every single time, and I just ignore it. What is RNG for? Oh, for rolling those. I could also put spawner. I have the spawner. I could do all of this stuff inside of it, I think, actually. And then I just need to return something a little bit more comprehensive, like a spawn result or something. I'll do that. I've been looking to make a game using rock coding. I'm not sure what to use since I've only made things using Godot. I don't think Godot is a bad choice for making games. It all just comes down to like what you want to do, I guess. Because this takes a return link. Dung world ID. Did I type this wrong? What's a pointer? No, wait, hold on, what is this? Oh. This needs to come from hold on, let me just undo this really quickly. Yeah. Game.worldID. I'll just do I'm just gonna pass game in. There we go. Then I do this, I'll pass in game, I will pass in RNG, I'll pass in GT. And then we need to get entrance position out of here. So what I could do is I could either return back the world and look up the return portal position and use that, or I could make like a proper object to return from here, like a spawn result or something. I actually don't even know what this is. What does this return? A vec2. I'm gonna do this way. Vectua. I'm trying to think of a funny pun or something. I couldn't come up with one though, unfortunately. And code on that thing. What a world we live in. What a world we live in. Please no. Yeah. Gosh. What was I watching? Oh, I was watching this TV show called Chad Powers or something. I think it's on like Apple TV, and she's in the show. She has like a cameo. Good for her. I don't know. After this, after the crypto scamming stuff, it's a little bit like, all right, come on, what are we doing here? I do feel like she probably got taken advantage of on that stuff. Shoot. Yeah, spawn. Yeah, most likely. Yeah, I mean, like, let's be real. Even a lot of the people that claim to know how crypto works don't even know how it works. And then you've got like this girl who has no idea how computers work, probably. So you feel a little bad when she just gets like taken advantage of like that. And like ruins her entire brand for it. Let's see. Entity, entrance position, world ID, level config. Oh, I need that as well. That's fine though, because we can just return it too. Don't put her down. Don't put her down like that. She knows how to tweet at least, or at most. I don't know. Yeah, don't touch crypto for a reason. Yeah. I have a little bit of Bitcoin, but just in case like nuclear apocalypse and that's the only thing we can use as a currency, I could see it becoming big in that case. So you never know, right? You gotta hedge your bets. You never know when the nukes are gonna start flying. Okay, I think I like this. So now we spawn the dungeon and we start it initially, and then we get the spawn result. We send that back on the channel rather than the world ID, and that has all the data we need to spawn the entrance to it. So we can spawn the entrance afterwards, and that fixes our that issue we had where we were like adding a return link after the fact, which I didn't really like. So all right, game.world ID, whole network system. Oh, this takes an ingress channel. That one I'm not sure exactly yet what to do. Let's go to this one. Dungeon.store. Oh, that's Alabark Dungeon. Store sets availability. Okay, I guess we do need the dungeon for this. Wait, why is this red then? Oh, because we probably got rid of this one. All right, let's look at leaderboard statue system. We have the game, we have the leaderboard tracker. And then we have the world. Tracker's the only one. Hold on a second. Game and tracker. Is the leaderboard tracker a resource? The problem is the leaderboard tracker is like if you have multiple dungeons, leaderboard tracker is above that. It's more like a global sort of thing. So it needs to be attached to the orchestrator, I think. I'm just not sure. I'm not sure how to do what to do with this one yet. I guess we'll come back to it. This one just takes a game now. This one just takes a game now. Oh. Oops. Game dot was lowercase? Oh, it's Dungeon Manager still. Dungeon entrance population. Whatever. What does this take? Orca and game. All right, let's take a look. Hey, we're pretty close. Only 3 errors, at least in this package. All right, server. We have the server leaderboard tracker. We have the server con object, which I haven't really decided how the interface is going to look for that yet. And then we've got this, what is this one? Oh, this is where we get the ingress channel. It probably makes more sense for the ingress channel to just be added to the game though. But I do need dungeon, don't I? Let's walk up a bit. Oh. Dungeon.go and game server. We'll look for initialize systems. Let's see where this gets used. Yeah, we do put it in here. All right, let's see which channel it gets put at. We have a function. Dungeon channel. Oh, it's only one channel. So dungeon channel is the ingress channel. Do you have any good tutorials to get started with Go? I mean, I feel like if you just Google online, you'll find a bunch of good stuff. If you're trying to make games in Go, I know that there's people that make tutorials for like Ebit Engine, for example. You can find those. Like you could just be like, let's see. I swear I knew someone. Here's one. Coding with Sphere, maybe? This might be a good one.
Hello, welcome to the first.
But yeah, I mean, most of the stuff you find online is going to be like decent enough. Don't feel like you need to find like the perfect tutorial. You just have to start building stuff, in my opinion. Okay, cool. So we'll just use that one then. Yeah, of course. Is it capital D? All right, we go. All right, there's that one. All right, then this one we need to pass the leaderboard tracker in. What is leaderboard tracker? I'm actually not 100% sure. Well, first of all, how does it get used? Yeah, I literally just use the internal data, I guess. This is to update statues with the leaderboard data. That's fine. The thing I don't know. I might pass this in. I'm gonna do that, I think. And then we'll go to a dungeon. Yeah, and then we'll get the leaderboard tracker from there. From the server, because the server has one big leaderboard tracker that it persists to Redis. Okay. And then, yeah, now we just have to do the server con thing, which I'm not sure yet how I want to do that. I mean, I could just wrap these functions. It's really not that many. It's just like send this packet and then close it. Yeah, it's only these two. So I could make this a really simple interface. And then rename this like get proxy con or something like that. Oops. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. All right. Do, 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 do. Yeah, we'll make it. We'll do an interface for the server con as well, because it's only 2 things, I think. I kind of want to call it ProxyCon. ProxyCon. Thank you, Doru. I'm gonna call it a server con. It's just everything's connections are weird, because if you name, like, how I've named them historically is who's dialing who. So this would be a connection to the server, even though I'm talking to a proxy. Otherwise I feel like it gets kind of confusing. I'll leave it a proxy con. Because it's in the server.proxycon. I feel like that makes kind of sense. Okay. Then we need to just fill in the blanks of what this interface needs to supply. This one first, we'll do proxy. I'm gonna call it send world update. Let's do this. Server message.world update. This is going to return 2 things. I think it's going to return an N64, which is the packet size. And it'll do an error as well. I don't really know what to call this, but whatever. I'm calling it CloseCon. Close is the right name, but I just don't want to. I want to double check to make sure that this isn't a separate close function, that there's not a separate close function for this object. Okay. Kind of a big change this patch. Obviously, a lot of these functions we'll need to implement for these interfaces. All right, now I have game server issues. Base dot, or is it server dot proxy ID? Server user, server dot proxy ID, server dot proxy ID, server dot dungeon return link. Okay, yeah, server dot game. What was it? Oh, that was proxy ID. Okay. Oops. Go ahead and copy this. Server.user. Eventually, I'm probably going to move these to base. Like proxy ID should probably belongs in base. But it's easier to move them once they're all migrated. So what was this one? Player export. Okay, that's a Redis thing. That's another Redis thing. Network send state. Yeah, trade request cache. Get dungeon config. That's fine. This one we'll have to migrate, or we'll have to make it public. D.start. Oh. So we add it to the dungeon manager, then we start it. We return the world ID. I guess I didn't finish writing that function. I just need to finish implementing that interface for that one. Let's look at this one. Oh, cannot use Dungeon Manager as orchestrator because it doesn't implement stuff yet. Okay, cool. That stuff's missing still, and then we'll do this one, and then server.global config test. That's good. And then initialize system. And then those functions we could probably promote. But let's look at this one real quick. This one takes dungeon game leaderboard tracker. Dungeon game leaderboard tracker. All right, cool. All right, let's go make these public. We'll put a server, spawner, player, entity. This is only used by a lot of this stuff, now that I'm splitting things up, it's a lot easier to see what can just get pulled into there. Is Golang performant enough to create a game? Yeah. Yeah, Golang's more than fast enough. I mean, depends on what game you're making, obviously, but Go is very fast CPU wise. Memory stuff is a little bit slower. But people make games in languages like Python and Lua, so. But yeah, I mean, if your game needs to eke out like every bit of performance, then you maybe shouldn't pick Go. But for like 90% of games, Go is probably fine. Most of the time, either data structure, algo problem. Yeah, most of my slowdowns are from stuff like that. Let's go to spawner. Or something like GTA 5, there's no way, right? It has to be something like C++. I don't really know how. Let me think. I've only played a little bit of GTA 5. I mean, like, it could probably get pretty close to GTA 5 graphics fidelity. I mean, like, the thing is like, all of the rendering stuff happens on the GPU. So if you're looking for like a really rendering heavy game, Go can like orchestrate that just fine. Because all you do is send over like, hey, here's all the vertices, and here's the shader I want you to run on these vertices. And then it goes and runs them all. So it's not like the CPU's being bogged down that much usually, unless you have really, really high like vertex count or something like that, which GTA 5 might have some of. I just don't know. Like it's kind of like very specific. It's hard to like make generalizations, I guess. But like rendering happens on the GPU, so it's not super. It can be CPU intensive. It just depends, I guess. Like I hate to say that, like, oh yeah, 100% Go can do it, but like the problem you're gonna have with Go is that you're gonna be forced into these situations where you have to allocate memory, and it's gonna just emit more and more garbage, and then you're gonna have like more garbage collection cycles running, which is gonna bog down your performance. Like that's the only reason Go is slower than other languages. So it really has to do with like how well you can manage your allocations, and in Go you just can't manage them as tightly. So like you're gonna lose performance because of that. Not because of like rendering things specifically, but when you render a lot of vertices, you might end up being in more of those situations where you have to allocate more stuff imprecisely. So it's just kind of hard to say, I guess. Oh, server dot. Can you just use pools to reuse allocated structs? You can, and that will improve your performance, but it's not going to be as fine-grained as something like C++ or C would give you. Like the regardless of how, unless Go comes out with memory arenas or something like that, then like the fundamental problem you have in Go is that when you allocate this struct, the garbage collector has to go and garbage collect it whenever it checks for GC usage, right? So the more of these things you allocate, the more memory, the more time the GC needs to go look for it and to find like loose ends so it can trim them off. So it's just like more maintenance. So then what you do is you put them in arrays. Now you have this big array of things, and then now it's one GC object that needs to be checked. So you'll save performance that way, but it's still one object rather than like if you manually did it, it would be 0 objects. I don't know if that makes sense. Also, Go generics aren't as fast as they could be. So if you use generic structures, they'll be slower than like C++ generic structs. So it's just trade-offs, you know? So like in that case, you could just not use generic structs and like then it would be as fast. But now you have to like, now you have like more code that's just like sitting there, or you have more code that's just copy pasted or generated or something, you know? But they did have this one proposal for memory arenas. Go monomorphic? No, it's not. They do boxed, what's it called? What do they call it? Boxed GC shape stenciling. So it's monomorphized on different GC shapes, but there still are some cases where it like does some cast to some like interface and then just like unwraps it. So it like wraps and unwraps it. Sometimes it's fast though. It just depends on like what the data is, I guess. Wait a second. World ID counter start. How's that not in server? Oh no, did I delete that file? I thought I copied this whole file. Hold on. Wait, then where would it be? Oh yeah, it's here. Dungeon server. Why can't I get this then? Oh, now it's working. I blame GoLSP again. Oops. That's a weird way to implement it. It is kind of weird. It's oops. Oh, excuse me. It's for compile time reasons. They did it that way so they could compile faster. So whether or not that's something that you like value, you might think it's a good or a bad choice. Personally, I think it was kind of a bad choice, but the other thing is I don't know how slow it would have been Oh, I know why this is failing, because I'm passing server into here. Serve. Yeah, I would have loved just to have monomorphized. Do I use this anywhere? Oh yeah, binary size 2. That's true. Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right. Okay, we need to make sure that all of these implement the right interfaces now. But man, you were the chosen one. Go. I'm about to switch to Odin now. Say goodbye to all my methods. Gosh, what a nightmare. Boom, boom. Okay, what was I doing? Oh yeah, we need to make sure these implement the interfaces correctly. Game.go in server. I guess we can look and see. Does not implement server dungeon. Missing method get config. If you did rewrite a node in ITA, what does that mean? You'd be my teacher's assistant. Hey, don't go in there. Come here. Ugh. She tries to climb into my cable box. Where I keep all my cables. You'll have to do some heavy work on HTTP stuff there. Oh, really? Is there no libraries? I don't know what language I would pick if I switched, honestly. I probably wouldn't use Rust. It'd probably be Zig or Odin if I had to switch. There is. It might be Zig though. I just don't know. Boom, boom, boom. I'd say it's really not mature. Oh, okay. I'll hold off then. Missing stuff. That is one nice thing about Go, is that it's oh, sealed is the one we need to know. Trunk speech trunksing. Yeah, he really is. Was return a bool? Yeah. He kind of just like runs through stuff. He just like bumps into stuff all the time. What's this error? How'd that comma get there? Definitely wouldn't recommend Rust for something this big. You'll have more time to brew coffee. Yeah, if I did use Rust, I'd probably use Bevy. I think Bevy has, the problem is you have to like be very cognizant of decoupling everything. But Bevy's nice for sure. Set stability. I did an experiment with Bevy though. Maybe like a week or something. I just like messed around with it. Probably not even a week, maybe a couple days. Here it is. Okay, wrong method for type stop. Hate when Emacs does that so much. Gosh. What is this? Done. Stop and remove. Do I even use this done channel? Oh, I guess when I'm exiting, I'll stop all dungeons. Okay. Fine, we'll leave it. See how like I rebuild, I change one thing in my server, all of my assets have to rebuild. That's what I'm trying to get rid of. So once I move this, once I move all the stuff out of the game server, then I can move all the systems out of server and I can move the components into the component section. That way when I change systems, I'm not updating all of, because assets depends on this. But technically I have like one special package called BEH, which is my behavior tree, or not behavior tree, it's my my finite state machine for monsters. And really that's what I need for the assets. Bebe, my baby. Okay, game, RDB, server orchestrator. Yeah, so we need to, dungeon manager is not implement. Wrong type for method get. Do I use this? I only use it here. So I might just be able to do, use the other one. No. Okay, there we go. Okay, now we can go back here. We don't actually need this anymore. Thank you, Neo, for the follow. Appreciate it, man. Oh, great. Why are you wet? This freaking cat. He's a drooler for sure. Holy loading time. Hilarious. Twitch be twitching. This cat sheds like crazy. I'm tempted to make a soundbite. Oh gosh, I'm gonna stop talking. Okay, now it's missing get config. And what is this one? I'll do that later. Let's fix this first. You have one of those rollers? No, I don't. I'm back from playing Mythfall. Nice. How far did you get? It doesn't return a Boolean. Oh, this is the wrong one. This is what I want. Level? Wait, actually, do I need this anymore? I actually don't think I need this. Because I think here I can do, oh no, I do need it. I do need it, in fact. Is it just config? Fought the tutorial boss and did some of the second portal. Oh nice, you went to the sphere. All right, get ProxyCon. I think this is going to be a server function. Let's see though. Get proxy, yeah. d.server.get proxy, proxy ID. I try but I died. I did get my first skill point though. Oh, nice. Making good progress. Yeah, skill points are helpful. Leveling up gives you stats boosts as well, so you get a lot stronger. And then getting items is all obviously super helpful also. This hasn't implemented the right things yet though, so this will be an error. Get return link. Do I need that? Oh, this is for spawning a return link. Once the boss has been defeated. Okay, that's okay. Oops. Mm-hmm. Do I return I'm gonna return it this way, I think. Or sorry, if so if it's nil, dung dot dung. It should just be this, I think. Yeah. Otherwise it's not nil, so we can return it. All right, we need get user. Next game. Give this one. We also need to do num users as well. Let's do them both really quickly. Most of these are like get the dungeon and then just call the function. Mm-hmm. All right, so we'll get the dungeon and then we'll look up the user in the dungeon for that one. All right, let's give that a shot. Move user to dungeon. This is another server function. This is pretty much a pass through. I kind of think I want to unify the server object and the dungeon manager into just the dungeon manager, which will, from the game perspective, it'll be like the server orchestrator. All right, send leaderboard event. Oops. D.server, leaderboard tracker, update channel, event. All right, so we have this dungeon return. And this is taking a world ID. No. Sorry, my cat's kicking my mouse. All right, what changed? Okay. This takes a world ID. Return link dungeon. And I need the level config as well. I mean, I guess if I'm able to get the return link dungeon, I can just do what does this give me? Oh, okay. So I do have access to the original dungeon object, so I can just do this then. World ID, and then I'll just do return link dungeon dot config. All right, now we have the server con. We made a proxy con interface for us. We just implement these two functions. And we'll go to con, game server con. I'll just throw these at the bottom. I guess I don't have a close function, which is kind of nice. This one is this. And then this one is this. Yeah, what does this return? Just returns an int. That's kind of a guess when I built this interface. Int is fine though. I will probably go back through all of these interfaces and make sure that these are the functions that I need. But this is done now. We don't need that. We implemented this one. We implemented this one. No, we implemented this one. I'm to AUR? I don't know. What happened? I was having issues with one of the American mirrors like last week or something. This guy. His big old feet. He is big. Lord Chunkus. Do, do, do. I'm surprised this build just worked. All right, seems like it's still working. Which is good after a pretty large refactor. After a 4-hour refactor, I can't complain too much. Cool. There he goes. All right. Well, I'm gonna have to go review all these code changes, because it's kind of a lot. Fast debugs. Well, we'll see. I think it'll take a few more refactor days before I'm to fast debugs, but we're getting there. We're at least splitting things a little bit. At least we have this new service package, which is kind of nice. This new game server service. But yeah, I think the interface helped a lot, so I'm happy with that. But yeah, that'll be it for today's stream, everybody. Thank you all for stopping by. Hope you all had a good time. Hope you all vegged out as well. But yeah. Goodbye. Goodbye now. All right, I'll see you guys later. Take care.